Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and in today's episode we are taking a look at the PS5 game Godfall. Yeah, so Godfall is one of the few PS5 launch titles. It's only for the PS5 at the moment. I've heard that it's going to come to PC, in the future, but Godfall, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Demon Souls. And I guess Astro's Playroom, but that was kind of just a freebie for the PS5. But those were basically the launch titles. I could be missing a few, but Godfall is interesting. Graphically, it looks freaking beautiful. I love the way that it looks. It looks epic. I mean, especially with the new PS5, it just looks freaking gorgeous. Like, the armor plates that you got, I guess Valor plates is what they're technically called, look freaking awesome. Graphics, everything. It even looks like they had ray tracing. It just looked awesome. It was stunning, to say the least, for visually. Another good thing is combat, man. I enjoyed the combat. I know not everyone will feel the same about me. I really enjoyed it. It was satisfying. It was cool. They introduced like a new technique called, I don't know if other games implement this, but it's called like a shatter shell or shatter shock, something like that. Soul shatter. Basically, enemies almost have 2 health bars, but if you hit them enough with like a heavy attacks mixed with light, kind of switch it up, you can soul shatter them, basically, where even if they have a bunch, you can see like their health kind of like it's red, but in the middle it would have like a out white line saying that it's like kind of like if you did one heavy attack, you'd instantly kill them, kind of thing. And they would explode, and it was fun. Some of the boss fights were really fun, and like kind of like the finisher moves I thought were super cool. Like some of the first ones where you dodge, the weapons and then you take them out is fun. And then getting takedowns, basically if you get a perfect parry, you have a chance on smaller enemies. If you level this technique up, you're able to do it on a little bit larger enemies. But basically if you get a perfect parry, you can run over and basically one-shot them. And I thought that was super cool. And that's another thing. The parry window on this game was massive. Not like Demon Souls that I'm playing right now. Even a lot of other games, like even can't even think. I know Demon Souls is the one I'm thinking of right now. Even The Witcher. I'm still playing The Witcher, and the parry window is nothing kind of compares to Godfall. The window is so forgiving. Like you can see them almost about to hit you and hit block, and you get a perfect parry. So pairing was super easy, super fun. I really enjoyed it. Now, the thing that I feel like Godfall really suffers from is the story. Story was very lackluster. It almost seemed like that they're like, hey, we got this great game, great combat, great visuals. Oh crap, we forgot to write a story. Like, it was like the story was literally, like, if you're just going off graphics and gameplay, like, this game was like a solid, like, I don't want to say 10, but I had a lot of fun. Now, if they had a great story kind of combined with the visuals and the combat all together, I think this game would have been fantastic. I think it would have been a great game. I personally still think it's a great game, but the story definitely is very lackluster. Like I said, it's basically you had a kingdom, your brother came and beat the crap out of you and stole your kingdom, and now your brother's trying to become a god, and you're trying to stop him. That's pretty much the story, like, in a nutshell. I also really didn't like that literally like 99% of the dialogue in the entire game takes place in the 7th Sanctum, which is just kind of like your hub area. Whenever you finish missions, or when you redo missions, this is kind of where you respawn. It's got all your Valor plates. It's got the weird scroll dude, who I guess is supposed to be like the forge dude. Even though he doesn't really do anything, you kind of forge your own weapons. I don't know. And then you got actual Seventh Sanctum. It's like this weird like entity, which is also the house. I don't know. It was a little weird, but literally all the dialogue takes place basically right in there. Like there's times where you're talking to this dude, and then you run 5 feet, talk to her, turn around and talk to him, and so like kind of go back and forth. And it was just really, I didn't really like it that much. I was like, okay, like I understand putting dialogue in there, but like it literally had 4 main characters, I guess. You got Seventh Sanctum, you got the weird scroll dude, I forget his name, and then you got Macros, which is the antagonist. Those are basically it. Yeah, so story was kind of poopy, to say the least. Yeah, the boss fights were really fun. Some issues that I kind of had is that it seemed like when there was too much going on, like I would drop frames. Like it would not necessarily drop frames, but it would just totally like freeze. The frames would totally freeze. I guess that would be a frame rate of 0. But like when you open chest and a ton of stuff came out and you're collecting it all. And I also thought it was weird that you have to use the internet to play this game. I guess you could play with friends, but it would make more sense to not use the internet, because literally I couldn't play the game unless I connected to the internet, but I didn't use the internet for anything in this game. Kind of strange. I could see this game being really fun with friends. Another downside that a lot of people have, myself a little bit included, is that the level design when you first get there is awesome. It's really fun, but then basically after the first time, each time is literally just a repeat of that first time, which I thought was pretty stupid. They make it look like they got like these 3 big maps, and they make it look huge, but in reality you basically spawn from the same point every single time. And I thought that was kind of annoying. I knew where everything was, so I can speed, after like 2 or 3 runs, I knew exactly where everything was, and I can get the chest, get the time things, because I was trying to kind of grind for some better weapons and stuff like that. So that was a little annoying. It was always cool the first time you go to a new area. So you start out, the first area, super fun, but then after you kind of beat everything there, you're like, all right, get to the next area. First time run through, you're like, it's unknown, so you're kind of exploring, you don't know where anything's at. But the game is very, very grindy, and basically if you want better things, like you just keep doing the same levels and over again. For example, right now I'm doing the tower trials. Basically you pay coin that you earn in this game, and you can do like the trials. And there's 2 different towers. Right now I'm only doing the first one. I just hit level 50, so I haven't quite done the second one yet. But basically you go up, and there's like 10 floors on this one, and I think the other one is 50 floors. But you basically go through these floors, and you fight enemies over and over again, and you get loot. But each time you do it, the enemies are a little bit stronger, and each time you do it, the rewards are a little bit better, which sounds cool, but it also kind of defeats the purpose of like leveling up your weapons. Because I found myself leveling up a weapon that I thought was cool, it was super strong, and then I would do a new level, and basically that new weapon that I spent all this time leveling up and upgrading was now not as powerful. Like, because it shows you how much like DPS it does, how much damage this actual weapon does. And so I thought that was kind of like, it kind of defeats the purpose of, upgrading your weapons. Like, when you could just kind of hang on to that one until you get a new weapon. So those were just kind of the flaws, and I know a lot of people can't see past the story, and I myself am a very big story-driven gamer. I really love single-player stories, and so this one was very, very disappointing. But I do enjoy the gameplay. I think the combat is incredibly fun. I'm having a blast. I only have like 3 more trophies, so I'm definitely going to try to get the platinum. Why not? I'm already so close. And the graphics and everything look top notch. I heard that they're making a DLC for this. I don't know if that's true or not. I heard it on like Facebook on a PS5 group or something like that, basically coming out in January. But you know, I don't know, man. If I were to give this a rating out of 10, man, I don't know. I've seen other people like IGN and a few other websites rate it, and they haven't rated it very high. But I honestly think that's a bit harsh because the game is a little bit better than I feel like that. My personal opinion, I think the game's probably like a 7.5, 7.5. I think it's a 7.5. Yeah, the story sucks. You know, and there's a few like little like glitches and technical flaws. But for a launch title, I mean, I had fun. Do I think that it was worth $70? No. And I don't know if it's just $70 everywhere, but I saw it at my local Walmart and it was only $50. So if you're thinking about getting this game, I enjoyed it. Go check out your local Walmart, or, you know, I don't know about Target or anything, but at least at Walmart I saw that it was $50, not 70. So but overall, I've enjoyed this game. I've had a blast. Like I said, I think it's a 7.5. You guys can disagree with me if you want. That's the great thing about opinions, is that we can all have different ideas on different topics. If you guys enjoyed the content today, please consider being a subscriber. And if you're already a subscriber, you guys are friggin' awesome, and we'll see you next time.